Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Toronto Paramedic Union issues code red after it says no ambulances available in the city. Police recover $175,000 of stolen property from York Region retail theft. This could have been a terrible tragedy. 2 toddlers have minor injuries after car crashes through daycare fence. Hamilton police reveal identity of overnight shooting victim. Rail outage that stranded thousands in Toronto area caused by software upgrade. CN. Man charged with second-degree murder in wife's death in Brampton. Toronto Talent Agency co-founder accused of withholding $600,000 in wages from clients.
Those were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details.
A man has been charged in connection with the death of his wife, who was found with apparent signs of trauma in Brampton early this week. Peel Regional Police were called to Plentywood and Financial Drives in the area of Steeles Avenue and Mississauga Road on Monday morning. When they arrived, officers located a 46-year-old woman dead. She has been identified as Rania Badran. The cause of her death is unknown. Meanwhile, police said the victim's husband, 37-year-old Basil Muhammad, was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. The charge has not been proven in court. Police are asking anyone with information regarding the homicide to contact investigators at 905-453-2121 extension 3205 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-8477 or peelcrimestoppers.ca. 3 people have been charged after more than $175,000 worth of stolen property was recovered in York Region. Police say they began an investigation in August 2023 after a large-scale theft of cosmetics occurred at a business in Markham. 3 suspects were identified and search warrants were executed at various locations, investigators said. In a news release issued Wednesday, police said the investigators recovered $150,000 worth of cosmetics and other personal care items in addition to high-end clothing believed to have a value of $25,000. As a result, 3 people have been taken into custody. According to police, the suspects identified as 30-year-old Leonard Bacon, 24-year-old Bianca, and 32-year-old Dennis Andrea have been charged with theft under $5,000, possession of a property obtained by crime over $5,000, and trafficking in property obtained by crime. Investigators added that they believe there are unreported thefts and that the accused have been active throughout the province. Anyone with the information is being asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. The arrests come a day after Toronto police issued a warning about organized retail crime. Crime Stoppers has said that retail theft costs businesses about $5 billion a year. Police say 2 toddlers and 1 adult sustained minor injuries after a driver crashed through a fence outside a Vaughan daycare on Wednesday morning. Officers were called to a daycare at the corner of Rutherford Road and Melville Avenue near Jane Street shortly before 9:30 a.m. for reports of a collision. Police said an 82-year-old man drove his vehicle through a fenced yard outside the daycare where some children were playing at the time. Fortunately, no serious injuries were reported. Police said 2 children ages 2 and 3 were taken to hospital as a precaution after suffering minor injuries, along with an employee of the daycare who sustained an injury to the leg. The initial information is that a car had been driving in a parking lot and the driver lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle then went into a metal fence at the daycare and that caused the fence to strike some children as well as an adult employee at the daycare. Sergeant Clint Whitney told reporters at the scene on Wednesday. We can appreciate that this is a very alarming call for parents to receive, and we can also appreciate the witnesses. And there were many witnessed a traumatic incident. It was disturbing for everybody and there was a lot of chaos, but fortunately the situation is under control right now. It is not clear what caused the driver to lose control of the vehicle, but police said he has been taken to hospital for an assessment. Meanwhile, a full investigation is underway. This could have been a terrible tragedy. Fortunately, we are looking at a situation where everyone has minor injuries, Whitney said. Whitney said that police have already spoken with a number of witnesses but are still looking to interview others who may have left the scene without speaking with officers. The massive outage on Canadian National Railway Company lines that delayed thousands of Toronto area commuters during the evening rush hour Tuesday can be traced to a software upgrade, the company says. At this time, our teams have determined that this was caused by an internal systems upgrade, which affected CN's ability to connect to the internet, CN spokesman Jonathan Abikesi said in an interview. There is no indication of cybersecurity incident whatsoever. At no time was the safety of the public compromised, and at no time was data impacted. The digital blackout made it impossible for CN to connect to the internet, he clarified. It also barred Regional Transport Authority Metrolinx and its GO Transit trains from connecting to CN servers essential to digital communications that direct locomotives were to move, Abakis said. GO Transit trains run partly on CN-owned tracks. Partial connectivity was restored at about 3:45 p.m. as some trains lurched back into motion hours behind schedule after the outage began at 12:30 p.m. System recovery was nearly complete by 8 p.m. and fully resolved overnight, Abakis said. Earlier, the computer malfunction forced GO Transit commuter trains in the Greater Toronto Area to stop at the nearest station while riders crowded the city's Union Station downtown during rush hours in hopes the network would resume. After CN's computerized dispatch system went down, a handful of rail traffic controllers began issuing orders by pen and paper that were then sent out to conductors via radio to move trains to stations or other safe areas of track, where they were halted, according to two railway sources who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the record. EXO trains are dispatched directly by CN, which was able to revert to manual techniques to keep them moving, Abakis said. During the outage, CN worked with GO Transit to temporarily take over their train dispatching responsibilities, CN said. This allowed for the partial resumption of GO and VIA services starting in late afternoon. Hamilton police have revealed that 36-year-old Tito Kelly of Hamilton was the victim of an overnight shooting. According to the Hamilton Police Service, officers were called to the area of Herkimer Street and Caroline Street South at around 11 p.m. for reports of multiple shots fired. When they arrived on scene, police said officers found Kelly suffering from the gunshot wounds in an alley. He was transported to hospital where he died of his injuries. Hamilton police are now attempting to locate a small royal blue four-door sedan with dark tint which fled the scene westbound on Markland Street at a high rate of speed. Anyone with the area of the shooting is asked to check their cameras for footage of this vehicle between 10:50 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Police have located a firearm at the scene. Hamilton police are encouraging anyone with information to please contact Detective Robert Delaney at 905-546-3836. The co-founder of a Toronto talent agency that abruptly shut down last year is now facing charges after police say that more than $600,000 in wages were withheld from clients. Police say that the accused worked as a director of Compass Artist Management between August 2020 and October 2022. According to police, clients of the business all signed contracts which stated that they would receive a percentage of their wages from their acting assignments, with the remaining percentage going to Compass. Police, however, alleged that more than 60 victims represented by the company never received their full wages. The company then abruptly shut down operations effectively immediately in October of last year. At the time, 8 former clients who spoke with Awaz News said that they were owed thousands in back wages. Police also confirmed then that they had opened an investigation after receiving more than 50 complaints, but months went by without any arrests in the case. In a news release issued on Wednesday, police confirmed that 57-year-old Daniel Friedman of Toronto was arrested at the end of July and charged with fraud over $5,000 and theft exceeding $5,000 in connection with the alleged fraud. The allegations against Friedman have not been tested in court. In an email statement to Awaz News last November, Friedman did not specifically comment on allegations that wages were not remitted to clients, but said that he was extremely concerned and heartbroken over the demise of Compass. Stories like this usually involve someone trying to trick people out of their money so they can move it to a bank account offshore. This isn't the story here. I am in the same boat as everyone else, the statement read. Police continue to appeal to anyone with information about the case to contact investigators. The union representing Toronto paramedics issued a code red alert earlier this week after it said there were no ambulances in the city to respond to calls. Yesterday, Toronto Paramedic Services requested emergency aid from more well-prepared and staffed bordering municipalities, TCEU Local 416 said in a post to X, formerly Twitter, announcing the alert on Tuesday. In a statement issued to Awaz News, Toronto Paramedic Services acknowledged that it experienced higher than normal emergency call volumes on Monday but did not confirm or deny the union's claim. As with other paramedic services across Ontario and Canada, we do run into situations when ambulance availability is low, a spokesperson for the city's paramedic services said in an email. Toronto Paramedic Services also told Awaz News during a phone call that the term Code Red is unique to the union and not tracked. According to the latest available data, the union said Toronto Paramedic Services faced Code Red situations 1,139 times in 2021. Awaz News has reached out to the union for an interview but has not heard back. Toronto Paramedic Services declined an interview request. Speaking at Queen's Park on Wednesday, interim Ontario Liberal leader John Fraser said that while ambulance shortages across the province are not uncommon, the issue is particularly acute right now. Fraser said more human resources and improvements to patient offloading at hospitals are needed to address the problem. To that end, Toronto Paramedic Services said patient offloading is the most significant challenge, negatively impacting ambulance availability in the city, and said it was working with its hospital partners to streamline the process. Dr. Raghu Venugopal, an emergency room physician in Toronto, spoke to Awaz News about the Code Red alert and said the shortage of ambulances is a ripple effect felt from the lack of hospital capacity. Venugopal said that while he still supports Ontario Premier Doug Ford's 2018 campaign to end hallway healthcare, he's seen no improvement in the 3 Toronto hospitals he works at. In fact, he says things have gotten worse. We do see innovative projects done by hospitals. We do see the province funding nurses to specifically help with offloaded patients, but the reality is it is not enough.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.